Welcome back, everyone. So in the background, or probably the foreground, I'm going to have images of the current Wicklo rewards for Tier 1, some of the ITKs, or both the ITKs, I should say, as well as we'll eventually take a look at the Geo with the Prettified paint, the Pretty Geo paint that's available. This video was totally different. Now I'm kind of essentially dubbing over it with this new footage. I'll put it in the corner, and so we can look at the Wikelo changes because I think they're kind of both somewhat related. But it still gives you a chance to take a look at what Tier 1 will look like. We'll see when the patch goes live. Right now I'm waiting for the 4.2.1 to come out. So I'll probably have to do a follow-up on this. So they maybe should have been separate videos. But anyways, I'm sticking with this because I want y'all to kind of have a better idea of what's coming, more so because I think patch 4.2.1 will come out relatively soon, probably as early as next week. So again, you're seeing all of the current possible rewards in the good ship available, which just currently costs 10 Wikelo favors, but it is all based off of full RNG. I'm going to also relink to Chris's spreadsheet. He has changed it to kind of give you a better idea of what ships you can expect to get based off of user feedback. The percentages didn't jive across the 3 different locations. Again, if you want to just wait, RNG is going to go away for the new Wikelo changes. So we'll get into that, I guess, as we look through these ships. So on the side, you'll see the Pulse, the Medevac that's available, the Intrepid, as well as the Fortune. And then eventually I'll get to the ITKs on the other side. And then ultimately at the end, I'll take a look at the Geo paint. So the Wikelo changes. So obviously CIG's been looking at CIG feedback that everyone's been giving to CIG, and that is why they're going to go ahead and do some changes to 4.2.1, which I think is going to be very welcome. I actually spent quite a bit in the intro of the video I originally was talking about just complaining, giving more feedback around RNG and Wikelo, really for a couple reasons, because they're already hiding ships behind Wikelo. In this video, the first example of that is the Misfortune. Thankfully, it's easy to get a hold of. Currently, if you have 10 favors, you can go turn in at Orison. I'm going to highly recommend Orison, and you have a high probability of getting it. I turned in all of my ships at Hurston. Originally, I turned in 4 ships. I got 2 Intrepids, one of the, obviously the Pulse here, and the Medevac. However, when I went to Crusader and near Yellow there, I turned it at that Wicklo, and I turned in twice, and I got 2 Misfortunes, which is exactly what I was looking to get. So again, if you want to look at Chris's spreadsheet, which I'll link again to, I'll also link to this Wikelo changes, but currently the RNG is pretty rough. So again, no more rewards, no more random rewards. So all collector rewards will be deterministic, which means you'll be able to pick up a mission and you'll be able to understand exactly which of the rewards you'll be turning in for, which is very similar to obviously the Polaris as well as the ITKs. Both the ITKs work that way. The ITK Geo paint that I'm going to show at the end here, all of that works that way. So they definitely have the capability to do it. It's just making sure that it can be done in that particular way. So it says all existing Wicklo contracts will be updated to reflect this change. So looking forward to get into 4.2.1 when that releases later today. It should be open upwards to wave 3. So if you're in wave 1, 2, or 3, you should be able to take a look at this. I don't know how much I'll grind for favors and stuff to try it out. Honestly, I'll just be looking to see what they change, and I'm sure others will have YouTube video on that as well. Separate contract tabs for the MobiGlas. So that's the big thing. Obviously, Wikelo has the collections tab, and within there, it's going to start to look like the hauling tab, which in itself is its own mess. Hauling tab needs to probably be broken up into, short, medium, and large hauls. Anyway, just a thought, CIG. But yeah, the MobiGlas, obviously, if you're going to have deterministic rewards, you're going to have a different reward for each of these, which means a different mission for each one. So it's just going to start to grow. So what they're going to do is they're going to break it up into Wicklo A and B. Wicklo A will have the ATLSs. I'm assuming it also means the Geo and the ITKs, just the ATLS suits lineup in general. It'll have a number of ground vehicles. We're talking about the Pulse, a lot of the ones I'm showing here, minus the Intrepid and the Misfortune. Spaceships will obviously be the spaceships. Wickelo B will encompass all armor, weapons, and more. So we don't know what the more will be. I'm trying to think right now if there are other things that are kind of show up. Also, this was done. That video recording was done in a previous patch. Or not previous patch, was done yesterday, and so the server maintenance hadn't been done, and my server or the hangar was just being a mess. Anyways, so the and more, I'm not quite sure what this entails, but you can turn in for some things that are not, in these categories. So it's going to be essentially the miscellaneous. Now, just a quick coverage here. These are not coming in 4.2, but they are future plans. So first, the ability to submit things in a container, which would be a much welcome change, especially when things like just the scripts, for example, once you lift those up from the elevator and something happens, like the 50 scripts you're trying to turn in, you can start as a stack, but ultimately can turn into not a stack because it's not in a container. So being able to send something up in an SU box, whether it's a 1, 2, 4, or 8 SU box, will be a welcome change once they can get that figured out. They also want to make the missions split between the locations, right? So when you're on site, I commonly found when I was trying to do this, to be completely honest, when I was grinding out for the it keys and stuff, when I was trying to turn in different things, I would commonly find if I was at a location, it seemed less likely to get the mission at that location, which was blowing my mind. Like when I was trying to turn in the favors for scripts, MG scripts, I just didn't see Hurston originally at all. Like it just wasn't there. And so I went to Yella. I still found Yella less often, but I was actually able to find Hurston again. Like I think I had abandoned somewhere in the order of like 15, like it was a lot. I spent way too much time there going, okay, I just need to go somewhere else. So getting that worked out. So what they want to do essentially is when you're at a location such as Hurston, you will only see the Hurston turn in, which is definitely, it would be a welcome change. Again, not coming in 4.2.1, but that is a future state they want to do. Next, they want to do the different locations. So they want to make it so you can turn in any of these spots, including turning in some items at one location and the rest at another. So, essentially right now, if I want to turn in for the it key, if I send, 5 fangs down at, what they're wanting to do is allow you to turn in, like, let's say 5 fangs, turn them in at Hurston, and then go to Yellow, and maybe you have your favors there, so you turn in the favors there. In this case, maybe the worm fangs, and then you have to turn in the geo, the regular Atlas, stuff like that. They want you to be able to be a little more modular in how you can drop it off. Last but not least, they also have the contract for wanting to be able to turn in multiple. So, for example, the MG scripts, so the mercenary scripts, they want to make it so if you turn in 150 scripts, you just get 3 favors. So that's kind of what they're going for on that one as well. Those are really mostly the updates. Since we're at the GeoPaint, I'll discuss. I mean, those are the ones that the future state they want to do. Those last 4 there. Let's talk about the GeoPaint a little bit. So this is like the luminary paint that the alien stuff has had here. This last thing we're looking at. This just costs 3 favors, which I showed in there. It's its own contract as well as a geo suit. It does generate you a brand new geo suit. You still get to keep the other one anyway, so it's not like you're losing a geo for this, but it does give you access to a second or another geo. If you only have one, it'll be a second one. Again, the paint here, when you put light on it, it appears to be more red than the green or like teal, whatever this kind of greenish blue hue is. I like it. I mean, it's a pretty interesting, I mean, it's, if you don't want to spend 3 favors on it, you just like the geo or you have a geo paint already, then roll with it. But this is just to get access to this specific paint that, again, reminds me of the luminary paint that I think is still for sale currently for Alien Week. So, yeah, the different lighting conditions will allow it to change a slightly different color. Anyways, I thank y'all for taking the time to watch the video. I really appreciate those that really do drop comments and like and subscribe. I do like to interact with the community, so I appreciate people that take time to do the comments, and I like to go in there and when you share your feedback, I try to give and have discussions with y'all. So, yeah, again, I want to thank y'all, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.